Is it on? And we're live. Hello. It is 4:16 here in the Pacific. How are you? Looks like we have one person here. Hello. It is snowing outside here in the Southern California mountains. Hey, woo-hoo! Right around 1:45. We're not sleepy, but just tired, I guess. I didn't sleep that much last night. There hasn't been a whole lot of sleep these last couple of days. Like short hours of sleep going on. How are you? How is everybody? Happy Equinox. So that's going on tonight. And first I'll finish my first story. Anyway, sink in. It was like time to get up. I was like, oh man, this is rough. And then when I was here, and then I could have been on it at 3:30. I got up and got it set up pretty quickly this time, but nobody was here. There was nobody waiting, and I was like, all right, well, then I'm gonna take my time. I was just like, I'm gonna take my time then and not rush it, and then turns out being 4:15. So anyway, just time moving fast, the hours going by quickly, which is kind of typical, and just a lot more. It's an interesting energy today. Definitely an interesting energy since yesterday. And like just what I'm feeling in my body, just the vibes, just that sort of thing. That's definitely, it's weird how my body will physically feel the vibrations so differently depending on what's going on, where we're at in the month and all that stuff going on. So, and this feels similar to a full moon, I would say. Just that kind of humming energy that happens around a full moon or the beginning of a Stargate. And the equinox always carries its own set of circumstances going on, it seems, every single time. This is definitely the most extreme. So this whole coronavirus thing. So I'm going to get right into it and start talking about the coronavirus and what it is that I can do to help. And you can ask any questions that you might have. But basically, to work with somebody that has coronavirus, we're tackling it a little bit differently than I do my other healings, is what I've been shown. And that would be, well, we start off the same way we do every healing, which is a generalized clearing of negative energy within, around the body and in the home, and then we just concentrate on clearing out the home. It's not a super anything deep. We don't spend a whole lot of time on that, but we do go through the home, clear out negative energy, bring in the person's guides and guardians. We work with the angelic realm, so we bring in all the angelics in and just spend some time populating the space, getting the body nice and acclimated to that those energies coming in. And they're the same. Well, depending on, we're just working with one person. It's just that person. When we're working in a space like this, and when we go into meditation, it's obviously the collective and not so much focused on one person. We're doing completely different work, even though we're working with the same divine energies. So the same divine beings that show up in a private healing show up for us here. All of our guides and guardians, our angelics, the archangels, and any of the ascended masters, the different levels or realms of angelics. And the the rest of your spirit tribe is present, and depending on what's going on and how I'm working with a person kind of depends on who comes forward more in different ways. So let's say, for example, we're working with you in a mediumship type way, and we're doing that to connect with a loved one. So your and your guide, those guides and guardians, your angelics would be there, but they're not going to be at the front in the center there. They're going to be further back, and we'll feel their energy. But whoever it is that you want to connect to, their energy is going to be right up front, and I'm going to be feeling with them and talking with them. When we're doing a healing, it's like the opposite. They're there, but they're in a step back, kind of in the background, and the angelics are in the front, because we're really working together to do the healings. So I just wanted to explain that. They kind of showed me like, okay, there could be some confusion there as far as who's what and where's where they're at, what they're doing. And again, it just really depends on what we're doing. We're working in a tarot reading. That could be a lot of different beings that come up. It could be your angelics for sure. I work with the angelics when I do tarot and oracle as well. And but when we're working together one-on-one and I'm doing a reading for you, and let's say you have an ancestor or a loved one that has crossed over, they may come forward more because they have something to offer as far as messages or guidance or validation about a situation that the angelic support, but it's not their message. So it works in different ways. Okay, so back to the healing for Corona. So what we would do is clear the space, invite everybody in, and then energetically just getting the body prepared. And after that, we would start working with each individual chakra and opening them up, and just me tapping in. And obviously that kind of virus hits the entire body, and that's been well documented, but it is an upper respiratory illness, and that's where it attacks most. So people feel it in this area here. So special attention being paid to the third eye, the throat, and the heart chakras, especially. But we're going to go through all of the chakras and see what's going on there, and do a clear energy into each of the chakras. And as we go through each one, they become more in alignment with the entire. That will infuse the entire body with infinite love, light, energy. And then at the end, we do a person to help with the healing. So it'd be like spraying healing energy all over a person inside, just sending it all over, and then creating this bubble so it can just like stay in there, like a cocoon kind of thing, is the way that after the session. So and then that's also protective. It's protective as far as energies from other people being able to come in and disrupt the balance of your chakras as you're going through this healing. So that's basically how that works. It's not an instant cure, I guess you could say. It's not that kind of thing, but it definitely eliminates a ton of the energy that's fueling the process of the virus, and the energy of the virus and what it's doing. It has a process. It carries on a life of its own. I think that's pretty well understood. And when we take out a barrier, that's the whole process of kind of taking what hopefully would naturally happen with a body, but that's where that tipping point is, depending on how healthy or not a person is. So this is why people they cross a threshold with it where the body just cannot keep up with the energy of the virus because the body's energy isn't high enough to overtake it. So it's one thing to be infiltrated by an outside force and energy coming into your system and wreaking havoc. But it's another thing to not have the energy to fight it off and get it back out of your system because you're compromised. So for those who have any compromised issues with their system, this is the way I see it. I see it very mechanically. Hey, Sean. I see it very mechanically. Yeah, long time no see. How are you? Tell me how's it going? Is it snowing where you guys are? It's snowing here in California. So anyway, I see it very mechanically. I see it as energy when I think of a body with what's going on in the different processes that take place with this illness in particular. It's like this very slow, gradual, but steady wave of energy that comes in and starts to do things. And then it gets to a point, especially. Aw, it's raining there. Raining. Yeah, it changed from snow to rain. It's kind of been going back and forth here. So really interesting. I missed you too. Life has been going pretty fast and pretty wild lately, hasn't it? How have you guys been? Okay, so I think that's about it. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this, and please get the word out. I'm not charging. At first, when this came to me, I was like, okay, well, what should I charge? And then the 200 came to me. I was like, all right. But I also had on there, if you can't afford it, let me know. And it's looking at any other healing that is just rock bottom prices. And then was it yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday I was guided to, it's all blending together. Yesterday I was guided to offer it on a donation basis. So, creating good. Me too. So yeah, I'm not requiring any payment to help anybody with. This is Little Bear. Say hi, Little Bears. See, she doesn't really like to be held. And just a couple weeks ago, realized how great it is to sit and look at her. She's like, why are you doing this to me? Look at her. Why? You know how long I've known this cat? I love you. Since she was before being born. And she has always hated me. Even when she was little, I'd pick her up. She'd be like, put me down. Like, seriously. I was like, I thought kittens liked being held. But now she loves to sit in my lap. Now she's almost annoying about it, actually. She's almost like really annoying with it. I'm like, all right. She's like, I like it here. You pay total attention to me. But she hates, she wants to sit in my lap. Come here. Is that where you want? That's where you want. Yeah, that's where she wants. She's very demanding. So hunkered down, bunkered down. Are you really in a bunker? Please tell me you don't have a bunker and you're not in it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if you were actually in a bunker, had a bunker, and you were in it. So have you been self-quarantining and staying at home as much as possible? You guys, I mean, that's kind of my everyday life and existence. No? Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I do anyway. So not a whole lot has changed around here. Although when I go on Amazon, I can't get the shit that I want, and that's really annoying. Just staying home as much as possible. Have they closed schools in Canada? Because schools are pretty much closed in America. So are your brothers and sisters at home now all the time? Like, what's going on with that? It's also your everyday. But nature time daily. Yep, schools are closed. Yeah, they're going to be closed the rest of the year. That's that. It's a really interesting time. I mean, oh, she's making clay art. Oh, that's awesome. Sculpting is fun. Yeah, so life around the world is it's wild. It's crazy. It is it's really interesting to see how this is playing out, because I mean, I started like feeling this, like there's another thing that's going to happen that's going to get world attention. I knew it. We talked about this in the podcast. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. I know that it's going to be global. I really felt that our president was going to be a big focal point. And to me, a lot of that is played out. First, we had the Amazons, then we had Australia, and now we have coronavirus. And these like, how do we put it? The spotlight. I just see these spotlights going in places to get the awareness of people and consciousness of people, to people to think more globally. So there was that. So what kind of I'm being shown now is like there's the focus on literally GAIA and the health of her and her lungs and her capacity to handle what happens with the world. And then here we are a few months later, and we have this thing going on where it's affecting people and their capacity to breathe in their lungs. You think all the casinos in Vegas are closed too? Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about Vegas. All schools are closed, and yeah, bars and restaurants. Oh, okay. I've been asleep for a couple hours. Things move really fast. Because there hasn't been like it's been more pockets. And I think LA and New York have been more which, as I wrote in the description, is just, I can't with that. Because this is just, it's such a highly contagious virus. It's so contagious because it's airborne. So we're dealing with this thing that's it's so difficult. This whole like 6-foot perimeter thing is really funny. Because if you like cough or sneeze and wind blows or a door opens, or you just think about how the air, yeah, it's just, and for some people, it's no big deal. Like, I'm pretty certain I got it, it, like, on some level, like, I've been fighting it off, like, felt it in my throat, a little in my chest, like, yeah, it's in the air. People touch shit, people move around, even though I have barely come in contact with like probably 3 other people within, and very briefly, just people dropping stuff off in the last few weeks. And that, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm getting food delivered. So unless I'm going to sit there and try to disinfect everything, because things can stay, it's just, plus its air looks like if you were to turn on the black light and shine it over everybody, it's like everybody's got it. It's real. You know what it's like? This is what it's like. If you happen to be an old, because from my understanding, nobody watches the show anymore, but The Walking Dead, I used to watch The Walking Dead. I watched it from the very beginning. I loved that stuff back in the day before I, woke up. But what ended up happening with their zombie apocalypse is that what they ended up figuring out after, or at the end of season 1 or season 2, was that everybody had it and everybody was infected. It wasn't just certain. Quarantine thing is so important. So let me catch up here. All the casinos in Vegas are closed. That makes everything should be closed. Like, I have been going, we need to shut this down. We need to shut this down for like at least a week now. Like, this is ridiculous that things are just still open and people are going to being out in public, because you don't know if you have it. That's the thing. Like, you don't know if you're contagious, and it's so contagious that one person can just, I think there was a report, it was patient number 31, I think, in Korea. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this. But I think in Korea, they know if they called it. I don't know if this is true or not. It could be bullshit. It's media. But anyway, this is the way I see it anyway, psychically. It's like one person is just like, if they're in that sweet zone of being contagious and they're around a good population of people, and then those people go around other people and other people. I mean, this is just like boom, 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 boom. It's just like, you seen that foam stuff? It's just like, it's like you ignite that foam and it just goes poof, and it just explodes. And that's like, in my blog post from yesterday, I'm like, testing is kind of pointless at the, like on one level, it's like, but even by the time you get tested, by the time the tests come back, you could have already gotten it. And then people think like, oh, I got tested, and if I don't test positive, then I'm negative. It's not a test of if you can ever get it. Like, am I immune to it? Oh, it would be awesome if it was one of those tests. I'm immune to it and I don't have it. It's not one of those tests. But anyway, So yeah, I mean, the only thing that we can possibly do so we don't lose massive amounts of our most vulnerable, and not to say that children can't get it and get sick, and not to say that any of us can't get it and get pretty sick, because we've seen people of all ages all across the world getting sick and not doing okay. But mostly it is of the people who have a compromised immune system. So if you have any type of autoimmune disease, or you're have cancer and you're doing chemo or radiation, if you're older, if you're on any kind of like chronic, or not chronic, but daily medication for a chronic illness of any kind, your system isn't running on its own totally, purely, naturally. So something is compromised there. This is the way that we see it. When I say we, it's the way that I'm shown, like the screen of the mechanisms of how it works, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It's weird the way that I see that, but that's the way that goes. And so that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that are not are not totally 100% healthy. That's that's a lot of people. And especially in America, I mean, if you're obese, you have a compromised immune system. And a lot of people are overweight and obese in our country. A lot of people. We've had this major surge over these last few years in the United States, especially with a major increase in diabetes and compromised issue. And not normally, I should take that back. Sorry. A lot of people who have diabetes are also overweight. So they have a problem with not only having a system-wide issue, a regulatory issue within the system energetically, but they also have a compromised situation with their lungs because they're carrying around more weight. So more problems on their lungs and their heart. And this is why people that are overweight get heart disease because their heart can't handle it, blah, 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 blah. And it's all a chain reaction, right? So, hey, 4:44, you guys. It is 4:44. So, anyway, there's all that. They have National Guard troops in New York. Well, Cuomo has been calling for that for several days now. So, they're really serious about the lockdown, I guess. So Willow used to watch as well The Walking Dead. And yeah, I watched The Walking Dead up until, gosh, how long has it been now? Well, up until that crazy first season with the guy with the bat. I didn't even watch that season. I couldn't even watch that one episode where he pummels everybody to death. Like I was like, and before that, I'm not sure how I would have been with something that intensely graphic because that was really over the top. They lost a lot of people there. Even for that show, there was a line and they definitely crossed it. But I just got so much more sensitive with what I could get into my consciousness. And even before the show started, like I told my son, do you want to watch it with me? Because I don't know if I can handle it. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, man, like I'm really sensitive now. I don't know. I mean, I was so excited for it. And it was my favorite show for a long time. I just really liked watching those storylines, the humanity within this backdrop of the apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse. And I thought like any kind of horror stuff, like decapitations and all that stuff was just really kind of funny. Like it would like genuinely make me laugh because it was just kind of ridiculous to me. So but it's just so, it's like, I can't I can't even get close to it now. Mother died. Oh, that was a while before that. That was pretty intense too. But that was a while before that. Yeah, they went in kind of like in quite a steep level there. But anyway, the reason why I brought up that show is because it was really interesting how, well, it was a comic book before it was a show, but I found it fascinating that the idea was that everybody was infected, and that's just kind of like what it is now. It's this situation where it's so, you can get it so easily that the chances, unless you're a completely like isolated person and you don't come into contact with anybody who's coming, it's over time, like I would say within the next 12 to 18 months, most of the population are going to have it or test positive for it on some level. It's that like big. Oh, you have a comment? Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know anything about the show until I saw it come up, like, oh, this new show coming to AMC, and I was like, shut up, because it was up until then the zombie genre, and it always like fascinated me because I'm like, how's that possible? They're dead. But it was just always like really interesting to me, the concept. But a lot of them aren't good. They're just not that good. And that looked really good, and it was really good. Oh my god, that was a great show. That was a great show. If you could get past, the gory stuff, the wearing of zombie blood and stuff, and just the dropping off of people at any given time. Like, I think that's also what I liked about it, the unpredictability, because being somebody who can kind of sort things out before you get there kind of person, it's like hard to surprise me. So when you find a show that kind of checks all the boxes, plus you're going to surprise me at any point, I'm like, this is great. But then it got to a point where I was just like, I can't handle this shit, man. This is just beyond. It is way too dark and depressing, and it's all about fear, and it's all very negative, and it's all like, if you like, once you extrapolate really what you're looking at, you're like, holy shit. Like, if I'm like, once you start to get into that higher vibe and paying attention to, universal energies and all of this stuff, and you start to be more aware, and especially for me, as I started to come into all this business, I haven't had regular cable since right around that time, because anything could pop up on the TV or the news or whatever, and I would be boom right there feeling it. And it was like, fuck that shit, man. I need to protect this space, because I can go there so easily now. I can just tap in so easily with what I'm perceiving with my eyes. It feels like there's like I have this understanding now where it's not just the two, it's the three eyes working together all of the time, opened up like in this triangle thing that's kind of like projects out and comes in. And so does anybody else raise your hand if you feel that on any level? Expecting the unexpected in season 2020. I love it. No shit, right? That's hilarious. Dude, I laid down for an hour and a half, and we had like the National Guard showed up in New York, I guess, today. Maybe I didn't see that this morning. I don't know. But yeah, things are moving pretty quick here in this new alternate reality that we're living in. So anyway, I don't mean to freak anybody out about this whole, everybody has it, everybody's going to get it thing, but it just is what it is, and this is why we've never seen, I'm not talking crazy, because we've never seen the entire world go, oh, fuck this. We got to lock this shit down. Like, this is serious. Like, it is so pervasively contagious that just imagine, like this is how the apocalypse kind of situation happens, is if an illness goes over that just of the system. We're talking about the internal, like the one body system where it's compromised and it gets infiltrated by a virus. And if you can't fight it off, it's going to take over. So the same thing is on a global level, like individually within countries or neighborhoods or states, or however, which way you want to put it. If we're not locking it down, will get compromised, because too many people will get sick. Too many people that are taking care of people that are sick will be sick, and that's what is gonna happen soon. They don't have enough. They're just, even with all the protective gear that they try to use and stuff, when you're so run down and you have high stress levels and compromised immune systems. And a lot of doctors are not healthy people. They're just not. I'm sorry, but they're not. In the regular medical, field, many doctors are not the healthiest of people, just physically. They smoke, they drink, they don't sleep very well or very much. They are on a lot of medications themselves. Now, of course, I'm not saying this is for all doctors, but a lot of doctors, and especially a lot of doctors that are in those high stress situations, they tend to not have the best practices themselves for their self-care. I think a lot of us know about that when it comes to the medical industry. They're not really known for taking, so they themselves have, a lot of them have compromised immune systems. So to protect them as much as we possibly can and all the other people, that's why we need to, lock it down, because it is going to be pretty serious. Projections are the numbers can be wild, and we have no idea. I'm not sure what it's like. What's testing like in Canada right now? I know what it's like here, and it's pretty laughable what a joke it is. Testing to have made any real significant difference would have needed to happen weeks ago, like in big clusters, and turnaround time would have had to be really fast to get results. So those people who were infected, who didn't know it, could stay, sheltered. But none of that happened. So yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so where are we now? 4:55. Still have 3 people here. I think. I don't know. I never know with these numbers. I honestly thought, crazy me, that with people being in quarantine, we may get more people here, but I don't know. I don't know how it works with people getting announced with what I have. It seems like maybe some of it goes unseen. But that's okay. Okay, so anything else, you guys, that you want to share? Anything else that's going on in your world, in your neighborhoods, or how is do you know anybody with it? How is it in your particular towns? Like, where you guys live? Like, what's happening there? Has it already hit? I got news 2 days ago from one of my neighbors that one of our adjacent neighborhoods on the mountain, that somebody tested positive for it. I was like, well, yeah, not surprised, even though it's kind of like one of those, well, I'm 5,000 feet up. Maybe it won't get here so fast. Yeah, right. We're 20 minutes from mass population in California. Like, it's not going to be here real quick. The only thing that can really, really, mess with the world, aside, on top of what we've already got going on, is if we lose our electricity, our internet, stuff like that, then that's a problem. If too many people get sick that can't keep running, I don't see that happening at all. Like that whole scenario where people were like, oh, end times, the apocalypse, this is it, kind of crazy shit that's going around. Like, that's what would cause that so many people are sick, that our infrastructure breaks down because there aren't people to run it, a la The Walking Dead. That's why. Well, and they were being eaten alive, so there was that, but you know what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Anybody super, super duper sense. Like this light that I have going on right here feels really bright to me, and it's not like my little light above my stove. I'm like, like too bright. I've been dealing with that a lot in the last, I would say like 4 or 5 days. Anybody else feeling that? Just extra sensitive, not just the normal sensitivity to light, but extra sensitivity to light. And that to me, and I'm not saying that has anything to do with coronavirus. I'm just saying like, and that's the other thing that's been coming up too, the information that I've gotten is to balance out the energies. And I should point this out is for us, the Light Body Collective, to balance out the energies of what we have going on. Obviously we light bodies are transmuting and dealing with more, handling these energies more for the collective. On top of that, like we have the equinox today, and just we're in between full moon, new moon, just out of the Stargate, all that business going on, a lot of ascension energies and so on and so forth happening. So what I wrote about was we could be feeling like, oh, the throat thing or the chest thing, especially if it's just like a tightening or an expanding of the chest thing, the chest, we could be feeling symptoms that are more ascension related, that are like a transmutation of energies more than us like being sick. But they could just kind of mirror each other very much because of what we're doing energetically, what we're doing in our sleep. That's another question. How's your sleep been? How you've been feeling when you wake up? How's your energy body been doing? Are you aware that you've been a busy body in your astral time? Any of that going on for you guys? It is cool. Different industries help out. Some breweries are making hand sanitizer, and construction companies are donating masks to hospitals. Yeah. A lot of people are. I mean, this is the only way it's gonna work, is if people come together, donate, share. This whole hoarding thing, oh my god. So frustrating when people lose their shit and go ape shit and take more than they need at the time, because it's just really, it's a bummer. So anyway, hopefully that'll even itself out, but in the meantime, people might need to share. I'm really glad that I got stocked with toilet paper before this happened. Luckily, you wake up at 3 a.m. all the time. Yeah, that happens if I'd gone to sleep. It's between 3 and 4 sometime, a lot of the time. Or sometimes I'm up really late too. My sleep and my wake and sleep time, there is no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. And I can't force it one way or the other. So there's times where, excuse me, or there's days where I will, let's say, need to go down and lay down and sleep. I'm just like, oh yeah, like it's like literally like I was powered down. Like I just go, oh my god, I can't right now. I just need to go and lay down. I can feel it coming on, but I'm just like, yeah, and I'll try to fight it. And it's just like, no, you need to go lay down. And so I might sleep in the middle of the day, and then like wake up at like 5 or 6 or 7. Sometimes it even happens if I like get that tired feeling at like 4 or 5. I'll sleep for 2 hours, wake up at 7, and then I'm not ready to go to sleep until 2:30 or 3. and then I'll wake up at like 8 or 9. And then there's times where none of that happens, and I'll go to sleep at a decent hour, like maybe 10 or 11, and then I'll wake up at 3 or 4. So either one of those scenarios could happen. Totally opposite. But yeah, these last couple days, it was like I've been going to sleep at like 12, 1, 2, and waking up a couple of the last few days, waking up at like 3 or 4. It's like, oh, I barely slept. So this is why I lay down at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, oh my God, now I got to get up and do a live. You kidding me? Why? So I forced myself. I was like, no, you're getting up. So I'm here. Anyway, so, okay, guys, we're going to get into our general reading for this equinox time for the collective, what's all going on, what to expect for this next phase that we're in right now. This is the Archangel Oracle. So they have been all coming in, all of our guides and guardians here with us, the angelics, the archangels. I've taken out the angels without even really thinking about it. I've taken out the Archangel Oracle, the Angels of Abundance Oracle, and the Wild Unknown Tarot. First, we're going to start with the Archangel Oracle. How will work play out? Yeah, that's a good question. Work is, I think work for most people has a very different forecast. It's a lot of restructuring going on. Clear these a little bit more. Willow says, LOL, sleep's been all over, super busy dream time, lots of morning meditation and before sleep, meditating a lot lately, anchor my baseline frequency, noticing energies that don't belong to me. Yeah, totally. Yeah, me too. It's like I have not personally gone outside a whole lot because the weather has been really we've been living in rain and or snow for the most part for like 12 or 13 days now. Seriously. It's been really different than any other time since I've lived here. We have never had a stretch of weather like this before at this same time of this stuff going on right now. So it's been really interesting because I've been getting those messages to go out in nature too. And I'm like, it's freezing and raining outside. But then there'll be like patches of time where it's not, so I'll like go out for a little bit. But yeah, it's been difficult to get nature time, but I've been doing, actual nature time. So I've been doing the meditations to help, connect with Gaia and nature. And so that's helped. When the sun has come out, like I've tried to, go out in it and stuff. It's been a lot of days, a lot of back-to-back days of rain or it just being really cold. And I've just been really sensitive to the cold too. I'm so ready for sun. So ready for sun. I cannot even. But you've noticed a huge shift in a good way with people that didn't used to resonate with the things I have shared in the past. Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that. That's fantastic. Well, I think that there is, like I wrote about in the description of this video, there is a lot to be positive and thankful for. There is a lot to, definitely, we know that for a fact. They have been in the past, and we're finally catching up. I think in most places around the world, uh, to really what needs to be done as far as people not commingling and not going out into big crowds and into public spaces and stuff like that. So that's definitely gonna help. And but still, it could be way worse. And this is just really kind of more intensely, of course, but more of putting the spotlight on things that are not working, that aren't systems and practices and stuff, and that need to change. And also it's giving people an opportunity to see and feel and be more connected. It's, I never know, like, okay, let me put it this way. The way that I see this is like, I just got this flash of like people with their children at home, like families at home. Parents were isolated. They used to be out in the world all the time, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm not used to this. They're having a hard time. Like, those of us that are used to this, used to being alone, used to being at home, we've been doing this for years. This is like, aside from not being able to go to the store and get our shit like we want to, or have Amazon just, deliver to us the things. A lot of people, that's not the case. They're like, I'm not used to being isolated. I'm not used to being at home by myself, going to work and not traveling the way I normally do. And I follow a lot of comedians because I love comedy. And they all have shows and they're all touring and they're all have, all this stuff going on, and it's all been shut down. And and that's just one little aspect. There's all sorts of people that try. And I'm seeing animals just, aside from people being sick, if they're dealing with their humans being sick, animals being like, wow, this is awesome, I'm usually alone all day, and look, everybody's home. Just like it's an extended weekend, kind of thing. And I just keep like sometimes we think that, or we see things obviously a certain way. We have our ways of perceiving and perception of situations. So everybody could look at this whole things to come out of that, or because of people being forced to stay home and to isolate themselves, and what that's going to do for the collective consciousness. Is this what needed to happen on some level so people can kind of turn off a lot of their life? And like, I'm being shown like all of this stuff, like, are there things happening with the collective, with consciousness really needs to be pulled out of that school system mentality. Like, I've just been shown like all these little pieces of things that are just going to be like kind of turned off and rewired with, go, oh, it's all bad, and go, well, there are consequences to things, but because of certain events, we are experiencing certain new, think differently. They just are. Period. So we have to just open up our awareness to all of the different things that are shifting and changing, and see how this could be good in many, many ways. We just have to write out the different, the growing pains of this, if that makes sense. Hey Kevin, welcome. Thank you. You made it. I'm so happy. Yeah, so Willow said, okay, friends and family. Okay, I read that. Oh, wait. Friends and family who are being forced to stay home are now doing the things they have wanted to do. My friend is now getting back into making music. That's the exactly. Friends are not used to it, but are grateful to spend time with family now and pets. Yeah. Sean says, who's your favorite comedian? There's a montage on the internet of people being interrupted by their pets while working from home. Oh, it's hilarious. I bet. Yeah. Oh, I'm used to that all the time. It's like all the time. Our family here is coming together. Yeah, that's awesome. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I'm working with Groupon. I'm doing a couple of Groupons that are getting set up right now, and she's working from home. The girl that, the lady that is my rep, she's working from home, and I'm like, "How you doing with that?" And she's like, "It's really weird." She's like, "I'm used to." She's like, "I'm not." She's like, "I'm on my little computer. I'm used to my big, huge 2 computers and being with my team and." She's like, it's just really weird, and she just sounded really stressed out. She said that a lot of people, a lot of merchants and stuff, like they're everything's shut down. So all their stuff is shut down. And she's like, people are freaking out and stressed out, of course, So she was pretty stressed, but just the change in their atmosphere of not going anywhere, of not having the kids at school and there are things that can be done, so people just need to get really creative as far as what they're going to do, how they're going to come together after a certain point in time. It's still so early in this. It's still really early. We just all have to, again, be like, well, we're at home. So let's do things differently and kind of get used to that. But that's pretty funny yeah, because their pets are like, and then the animals are not used to people, if they don't normally work from home, they're not used to people working at home. So they're not, when your animals are used to you kind of working from home, they kind of know in a sense, like when you're doing certain things, but when they're not used to it, they're just like, it's all playtime. You can hear Ariel. I know it's been a long time for you. I'm working on a dragon portal. I wanted to ask you about because I want to get one of those gold portals, and you were gonna do dolphins, so I still want that. If you're still doing those, that's awesome. A dragon portal. And to answer your question, Sean, about my favorite comedian, I really don't have a favorite comedian. I have a lot of comedians that I really like. I love Dave Chappelle. I love Bill Burr and Bert Kreischer and Crystalia and trying to think who else. There's like a lot of them. I listen or watch a lot of their podcasts. They crack me up. I love Tom Segura. So I watch a lot of those podcasts and their comedy. Bert Kreischer just came out with a new special on Netflix. Yep, Crystalia, Theo Vaughn, exactly, all those guys. Yeah, I'm in that circle of all those people. Yeah, I dig that whole group, the whole like Joe Rogan group, basically, that whole group of people. They're but as far as what'd you say? My guides think I'm funny. Must be there. Oh, I guarantee you're their favorite show, and I bet that they think you're funny. That's hilarious. Do you ever find yourself putting on a show for your guides? I do that. Because they'll be like, they'll be talking to me about stuff. They'll be like, come on, be positive, put on it, smile. And then I'll just be like, ah, and be all stupid. Yeah. They're like, come on. And I'm like, make us all laugh and be silly. I put on a show, I'll dance for them, and it's fun. They're a great audience. Oh my God. Because it's true, I feel like I owe it to them to give them a little bit of entertainment because they're so there for me and they're so like on point with getting me like, I don't know how to put that. It's just, it's happened so many times and it's just better and better and better. Like that relationship is closer and closer and closer that it's like, I cannot see them, but they're literally like right there and I feel them so much and I hear them and that it's just like having people around. It's even better because they're not contagious. Yeah, he does. He has a lot of great guests on his show. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that you understand that. But yeah, it's true. It's fun. And that's why it's like, once you get to a certain point in that connectedness with your guides, with your brothers and sisters of the light, like however you want to put them, however you want to refer to them, once you're like I'm on a first name basis with my number one guardian angel now. I'll be like, and you know what? I'm still not used to using their name. And I'll be like, thank you. And he'll like chime in with his name. And I'll be like, right. Because I'm still like getting used to that. Yeah, hearing them more and more. That's awesome. Yeah, it hasn't been too long for me since I am like, aside from like the archangels, and having their name at the ready with cards and stuff and just knowing about them. When it comes to our own personal angelics that are with us, that's a different thing, and for me, it was just, to me, it was just like one voice, one mind, one thing that I felt, and that was it. And as time has gone on, that has changed. It has, I can definitely feel the different beings that come in, and especially like, if I'm channeling, of course, but just in my own kind of private time, it's like, I feel the energy and the vibrations differently. It did become more important to me to differentiate by name on a level, whereas before it didn't, and I didn't even know how to do that or how to differentiate the feelings and the impressions. I used to call it impressions, like when I was impressed upon. Now it's being guided and feeling it, like literally being talked to, not just like a feeling of presence, not just a feeling of not being alone, not just a feeling of being loved, but a literal like being talked to. And that's been going on for a long time, but that's even gotten less staticky and has separated itself for me. Like I've gotten to a point in my own awareness and connectedness and energy and frequency to where I can tap into that level of vibration to be able to differentiate. It's a process. It's a total process. And especially since the beginning of the year, holy moly, raise your hand if that's been like a super incline in your, like all that business with your energy and just knowing and feeling and all of that. I know that for the collective, especially the light body, it's been a big deal since and also balancing of the divine masculine, divine feminine. That's been coming through a lot. All right. Like pressure in the eye. Okay. So, okay, back to the cards, guys. I'm actually going to pull some cards. So here we go. See what we get here. Is everybody still here? Sensitivity. Sensitivity. With Haniel, you are extra sensitive to... As we just got done talking about. Oh, cards. Cards have been off the hook too, like on a level. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Yeah, we're all extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Are we not? Holy shit. Talking about this. Just got done talking about this. Extra sensitive to people and their energies, whether they're around us or not, and are extra sensitive to our divine guardians on the other side of the veil. They're like literally right here. Does anybody get the flashes of light in your peripheral vision? Anybody get that? It's easier to see at night than it is during the day. But does anybody get that? Yeah. Is it easier for you at night as well? Because this is what I'm saying he, I don't know why. This is what he's showing me is speaking of my guardian angel who likes to tell me his name now. He's like, that's me. I'm telling you. He's like, a lot of people are feeling much more in a real tangible way. They're like guardian. They're like number one guardian angel, and seeing the light of them. It depends on if you pay attention. It depends on what I'm doing. Like around on my phone on Instagram, not so much. If I'm not doing like work on Instagram, because I do work on Instagram, like posting and stuff, I don't fuck around on Instagram a whole lot. But sometimes I do kind of, scroll through and do indulge in some beautiful imagery. Hopefully that's what's coming through. And, but if I'm, let's say, if I'm channeling, if I'm doing automatic writing, if I'm meditating, if I'm drawing, if I'm, tapped into that, like that 0 point, like creational, usually that's like when those lights will kind of come up more. I think it's also reflective. So it's our guides that are with us and we can really kind of see their energy. And again, it is easier when it's darker to see those, those lights. And they'll usually just be like they're just like right here. and they'll just kind of pop and crackle, and you can just see that in your peripheral vision. So we are more sensitive to that. Some of us are getting a lot more sensitive to the energies around us, and even being able to perceive more with our eyes than we used to. What this also means we're much more sensitive with our eyes. So I've known this, and this has happened throughout my ascension process, but this is something definitely for sure that has been a big jump in my awareness of it as things have gone with me, is that the higher and jump I have in awareness, ability, connection, sensitivities, there's the flip side to it where it's like, yeah, I am that much more sensitive as well. So I went through this process last month where I released a huge part of my anchored, I guess you could say that polar soul energy. If any of you follow my podcast, I talked about it on my podcast. But anyway, that got released and transmuted last month. And that was a big event for me personally in my ascension process, my own journey in healing. That was a level that I didn't even know existed. It was a process I had no idea about, and happened on the Stargate very spontaneously through a meditation, just like all of my other healings have taken place. And since then, I am super sensitive, super sensitive to my smell. My sense of smell is just ridiculously sensitive. My eyes are super sensitive, and I'm more sensitive to energies around me, like to the point where I'll feel nauseous if somebody's really like even more so. Like before, it'd be like, okay, I'm reacting in a way that I know I'm dealing with more negative energy. Like I go into a Walmart, and then all of a sudden, like my body starts to react. Like I'll get extra cold. I'll start yawning, sneezing. I'll get pressure in the head depending on who I might be around, or if there's a large amount of people that have lower frequency around me. Now it's even more than that. So yeah, super extra sensitive. Willow, extra sensitive. I have been working on standing my ground more when I feel like running away, and just learning not to participate in unwanted energies. Awesome. Kevin said, I'm finally able to walk in my yard barefoot. Oh, really? The weather finally got to a point where you can do that? That's nice. Feels good to ground. Yeah. Yeah, I just go out and I sit on my just like right out here. I just like my butt on the ground, my feet, and I put it's like my feet, and my hands, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Feels so good. Yes, my smell and eyes have been very sensitive. Yeah, it was like I thought my cat had I thought that somebody had peed like behind I was so confused. Like this was like the same happened. This event happened with me, and I was like trying to sleep, and I'm like, what is happening? Why does it smell so bad in here? And I checked because I checked I have a litter box for my cats where it's called the Tidy Cats Breeze. And if you have cats, people, you want this system. Tidy Cats Breeze. It's the best because it doesn't work with regular cat litter. It's not a clumping litter. It is a graded litter box that you put these pellets in, and they poop and pee on the pellets. The pellets stay on top. Their pee goes down into the bottom where there's a pad, and the pad soaks up the pee. And it works really well because you don't smell the pee. It traps the pee odor. I used to be able to it works so well that you could forget about it, to the point where seriously, this is embarrassing, but it works so well where it's happened to me multiple times where I'm like, it smells a little bit like pee. I should check on that pad. And then you open up the thing to check on the pad, and the pad's literally floating in pee. And you're like, oh my God. And then the smell hits you. You're like, oh my God. Like, even though it's graded and the pellets are on top, and there's something in that pad that really, really traps that odor, that pee odor, which is fantastic. The pellets, they're like, they last for months and months and months. They stick to the poo. So and they do get peed on and pooped on. So you have to kind of put a new bag in every couple, month or so, or 2 months, depending on what you got going on there. But it's the best. And I had just changed this pad a couple days before this event had happened with me. So I'm like, I know that's not it. So why am I smelling pee so bad? Well, it wasn't just a couple days. It was more like a week. But I could go, especially with that litter box, I could go longer with that pad. Well, it turned out that no, it was just my sensitivity had risen to a point where the pad had gotten used, and I I just gone through this releasement of energies, and everything just like shot up in like everything with me, and I wasn't aware of it. I didn't realize that had happened, and I didn't even realize that I was more sensitive to energies of other people until I was like literally nauseous and clammy. My head hurt, like it felt like almost like a panic attack, and I maybe had one of those in my life. But I was like, and it was just this energy coming from this other person. And because he was really negative, and he was negative towards me, and I was like, and because I feel in my body what other people feel in their body, I thought, well, is this something that he's feeling? Is he feeling nauseous? Is he feeling clammy? Is he feeling, all, because I was like shortness of breath, nauseous, clammy, like that feeling that you get. It's like, but it was what it was my body reacting to the psychic attack of his negative energy coming at me, even though there wasn't anything actually physically going on. It was all energetic, and my body was reacting to it energetically, and it was really intense. And I'm like in my head talking to my guides going, what is happening right now? Because I don't react like that. And I'm like, is this him? Like, is he feeling like this? And I'm like trying to figure it out. And my guys are like, well, it is him, but he's not feeling this way. You're feeling this way because of what's going on with him energetically. And I was like, holy shit. This is on a level that, I mean, I had to acclimate to it. I really had to acclimate to it. It took a little bit. There's a 10-foot square in your yard you walk on. Oh, cool. There's a bunch of deer that bed down there. Aw, how cool is that? Sometimes when I meditate, I smell sweet things that don't make sense because there's nothing. Yeah, me too. Definitely. Yeah, those are our angelics will do that for sure. For sure. Roses will be a scent that is really common to smell, and it's because it has the highest frequency. It's the highest frequency flower that there is, and so I'll just get these bursts of smelling roses, and I'm like, yeah, that came from up there because there's nothing going on here. It is one of my own personal favorite smells or scents, and I do love that. But that'll be a big one. Also, gardenias and lilies are also those scents come through really, really intensely. It's the same as like finding a feather or a penny or a dime, or the different things that we may find out and about when we're just doing our thing. Yeah, it's really cool. How about tastes? What do you mean? What do you mean, how about tastes? Like being sensitive to taste? If that's what you mean, being a sensitivity to tastes. For me, it started a couple of years ago where, like, depending on if I was like eating with like a fork or a spoon, and if it had some weird like thing metally going on in there, even it happened with stuff like at home. So like I changed, it didn't. I would use stuff like I normally did, like spoons and stuff. Like I went through a period where I was like eating with my big wooden spoon because I was so sensitive to the metal of my utensils. That's kind of evened out. But I did go through a period of that where metal was just like, I could taste it. Oh, you'll get a random taste in your mouth. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't experienced that personally. I don't know. That's interesting. You could be picking up on what other people are tasting if you're around other people that are tasting stuff, or you could be that's a possibility. That could be it. Maybe. Unless you're asking questions of your guides and it has some type of connection there where, that could be it as well. I will be eating and then I will get a taste in my mouth. Oh, that's interesting. Reading. Eating. I'll be reading and then I will get a taste in my mouth. That's interesting. Really interesting. You should just document when that happens, and victory. Look at that, you guys. This card's been coming up a lot. So immediately it happens quick. Interesting. So immediately what I felt and saw with this card is that celebration thing, that celebration of life thing. And the understanding. There's just this overall feeling of how everything is coming into place, even if it feels and seems and looks like everything is falling apart. To some people, it doesn't feel like that to me. Like this stuff. I don't like that I can't get my shit on Amazon. And I don't like that people are stressed and in fear and that stuff. But personally, it's like, it's one of those things. And I think that this is about, when I see this, I just see a lot of I guess you could say, instead of seeing the people who have succumbed to this illness with the coronavirus as victims, to see them they're saying what I'm really feeling with that is saying don't think like that. Like, don't put that on them. It's really important not to put that on them. Because what I'm getting with that is that for a large majority of them, they were elderly. And of course, after they transition and go to the other side, they immediately are released and happy and see the greater picture. And so they're saying, they're kind of like all standing there in this way, just saying, we don't see ourselves as victims. So please don't put that on us. We're part of a greater framework of bringing in the new paradigm. There's a shift. There's this great shift that's taking place. And so I think that since this morning when I woke up and I was just in this like ridiculously bubbly mood, and all I kept thinking and feeling was this energy from Gaia and this energy from the other side that was just very all about celebrating life and the lives of the people who are no longer with us in general, but with this particular thing. and just the light coming from them. Very strong light, very strong light. And they're obviously still very connected too. So that's a big thing to keep in mind too as this thing moves forward. They're still extremely connected. So once again, victory. Hey, Karen. Hi, Liz. How are you? Nice to see you. How you doing? So we have Willow and Kevin and Sean and Karen and somebody else. Somebody else is here, maybe. So welcome. We have this other card sticking out. Let's take a look. Oh. Take back your power. So again, this is more kind of this, taking back, like, again, like this means two things. Taking back our power here, and as we transition and cross over, once we die, we get back into that, out of physical power into the, 100% energetic power as a soul. And this is a not something to, or it is something to celebrate that entire process. Yay! I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so victory takes, so sensitivity with Haniel. Take back your power, and then we had victory with Sandalphon. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So it's really important to keep positive, you guys. And take back your power with Raziel. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings into your life. And to connect, I'm hearing, to connect. So we all have the power to connect more, to really focus in on connecting, on healing ourselves, staying as healthy as we can possibly stay during this time. Raise your hand if, those of you who are weed smokers, raise your hand if you have tried to smoke less while this whole coronavirus thing is going on. Because, if you smoke weed, you are a smoker. So I know sometimes people who smoke weed don't see themselves as smokers, but I mean, we have to call a spade, right? If you're smoking, even if it's weed, you're a smoker. So we have to be aware that with this upper respiratory virus, those of us who smoke are at a greater risk of getting more to deal with on that front if we do get it. You're smoking less. Yeah, me too. I'm just, it's like when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I won't. Just trying to tone it down just a little bit. I could go for some edibles though. Maybe I should call for delivery. We have on our mountain, these people, they make these amazing edible. Well, it's our dispensary, but they make amazing edibles, and they make these chocolate bars that are like this big and that thick, and they're dark chocolate. And like eating 3 of these squares will put you in a nice, happy place. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Have not smoked in years. I know. Healthy lifestyle. Speaking of trying to be healthier. Healthy lifestyle. Oh my gosh. Focus. I know it's illegal there. That sucks. Archangel Raphael, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimum health. You know what? The big thing when it comes to being healthy right now, aside from obviously taking care of ourselves with eating, not smoking as much as we normally do, getting good sleep, meditating, is working with the elements. I wrote about that in my blog yesterday. Working with Gaia, bringing in nature into our world, is into our inside, is so important. So important. Like magically, before all of this happened, I was guided to get massive amounts of Himalayan rock salt in these really big pieces. Let me show you. So I have them in a bowl with a candle. And are pieces like this and bigger piece. There, some of them are like twice the size of this. Some of them are a little bit smaller. But I got 10 pounds of Himalayan rock salt. I have this stuff everywhere, all along my windowsills. I wanted to get more. When I went to buy more, it was out, and this is before this whole thing. And I ordered, and then I went a few days later, found another pack, not as, I think it was more, I can't remember. It wasn't the exact same deal. I don't know what happened to that deal. It was a great deal. Oh, I cannot tell you. And this was after my whole like shift that I was telling you about, where everything got really intense with me and my sensitivities. And I've been hearing from my guides, you need to get this, you need to get, for a while. And I just kept forgetting, just not doing it. And then finally I did. And I got to tell you, the shift in energy from feeling the outside and even my neighbors and their energy and negativity or whatever, the major difference inside my home once I put this all around, and I'm going to get more, like I said, so I'm going to have more even. Oh my God. Huge shift in energy. Just putting that barrier with these big, huge pieces of Himalayan rock salt, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Not only that, I got two more and new Himalayan rock salt lamps. I got one right here. Anyway, it's beautiful. But they came in a 2-pack. I have one in my bedroom now, and I have one right here. They're about this big. Came in a 2-pack on Amazon for like stupid $16 or something. Like one is, it's like light, it's brighter, is lighter and smaller. It's like this big. And then the other one's bigger. It's like this big, and it's got a lot of darker swirls in it. So beautiful. So get and bring in as much nature as you can, including, herbs and plants and flowers, and having things filled up with water is good, and burning Palo Santo and sage and all of that stuff is going to really help keep us free of the energies that can kind of be overwhelming negatively. Okay. Oh, there we go. 2 new cards here. We have gifts from God with a sandal font. Speaking of gifts from Gaia and nature, is like every single card that gets like I talk about it and the card comes up. Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Anyway, here we go. Gifts from God, gifts from Gaia. We angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. So sometimes we need to go a little bit out of our way to open up the energies, to allow for this stuff to come into our world, but consciously. And this also, I'm hearing this also relates and pertains to our gifts from Mother, Father, God, and our creator. Those gifts are specifically speaking to our creative ideas and our creative motivation, and how we output and how we channel out that energy from Mother, Father, God into what we do. So that's a gift from God. And what we're putting out is a gift from God, and to recognize that. Gifts from God. We angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. And of course, just the things that come into our world. So there we go. Gifts from God. And last but not least, if it will focus. Why won't you focus? It's not focusing, is it? I don't know why it won't focus. I think it's focused there. Anyway, leadership with Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. So, speaking to us as light workers and empaths and things we know and how we can connect. And just like what you were saying, Willow, about how your friends and family, how some of them weren't so open and weren't used to this lifestyle, but they are now. And maybe you can, you having that lifestyle can support them in that. And just in general, when it comes to, I'm hearing just having a level head, being in peace, not freaking out and being in fear and being scared or being angry, or, not putting out those energies into the collective is how we can lead, when other people are stressing out and freaking out, to not, number one, not be pulled into that. And number two, be the opposite of it and pull them out of it. So to lead in that way and to just be open in general. And when it comes to our own processes going forward, there's going to be more opportunity, I'm hearing, for that. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but wow, these are all really awesome cards, you guys. We have sensitivity, victory. Next, take back your power. So this is about connecting with the power of those and the light of those who have crossed over, not only through this event, but beyond, and how we may have our own personal connections. And of course, taking back our power, connecting with our soul selves, getting in touch with ourselves at this time, especially for those of you who aren't used to living in a solitary way and are used to being more out there in the world. This is a new territory for you. So kind of getting used to that. Healthy lifestyle with Archangel Raphael. Very timely advice here. So try to be as healthy as possible. Healthy in your environment, healthy with whom you are around on every level, obviously. Recognize just, we need to take care of each other in different ways. If that means staying away from people because that's best, we need to stay away from people. If that means coming together in different ways, then we need to come together. So it really just all depends. I know, I love these cards too. They're amazing. Gifts from God. Gifts from God, you guys. All of this is so empowering and so positive. Gifts from God. There's so many gifts to behold and to see and to be a part of. And that's really what I'm seeing with this. And just kind of this just keeps chiming off. You're a gift from God. What you are and what you do and what you put out is a gift from God. And that there's I'm feeling a lot of releasement when it comes to those, like, like what you were saying, Willow, about how you used to hold back or you used to kind of turn away from different things, like on that same level of things, where we used to be like in our own way. We used to have these blocks. Like a lot of these have been lifted. A lot of the readings that have come out in the last month have been about going through gates, going through initiation processes, things being lifted. All of that stuff has been leading up to kind of where we are now. Just in these last couple of months or weeks, things are moving really fast. but I think that for a lot of us, we've gone through this process of more discovery within ourselves, more understanding of what we're connected to, letting go a lot more fears, a lot more of that like need to protect ourselves, a lot more of that kind of dissipating, feeling into the power, like Raziel says, take back your power. So we've been doing that. And leadership. What I'm hearing with this is for those of us who have roles of leadership, it's just time to step up more. Or if it's a new thing for us, this is going to be a catalyst for that. And just not to let anything stop us. Nothing is going to stop this ascension process. This is a big part of it. We have to shift and pivot with what's going on and what's going to be happening in the future, but we are protected. We are safe. It's not the end of the world. I think nobody here thinks that, but it's just, it is the end of a lot of things that have happened in a certain way. And that's okay, because that's evolution, and we're going through this big evolution process. I mean, I think that a lot of us that are more aware and awoken can see this from a higher perspective and go, well, we expected a lot of things to happen in 2020 and there to be major shifts in consciousness, major shifts in structure, major shifts in perception and reality, and how people take care of themselves and what they look to, what is healthy, what is not, how to go about treating themselves physically. And holy shit, have we not, like, boom, we just landed on that level, didn't we? Wow. Like, I mean, like I said, not that I don't like a whole lot of preview in my life. I get enough of it as it is. But as things move forward, I just always just like, well, yeah, I was told some, this sort of the stuff was, happening in my wildest imaginations. Could I imagine this? No, not for any of the stuff and levels that we've been through in these last few years. It's just, it's wild. But at the same time, it all makes sense. On another level. And my candle just went out. Okay, how we feeling, guys? You feeling good? How we doing? It's 6:03 on the 19th. 6:03 here, you guys. 9:03 there on the East Coast, which I think all of you are on. So I am the only one, I'm pretty sure right now. I'm going to take just a minute and close my curtains before we continue, because it is getting dark. It is foggy and snowy and rainy outside. Karen, how is it in North Carolina with your weather? It's pretty much raining everywhere else. And what about you, Kevin? Is it raining there? It was raining for Sean, and it's probably raining where Kevin is, since he lives pretty close to Willow, actually. Pretty sure you guys live pretty near each other. Or at least in the same sort of area there in Canada. if I remember correctly. Okay, and then I guess I want to ask you guys, have you guys gotten any messages, any visions, any understandings, or any, call them prophecies or messages or anything that have come through for you that have kind of helped shift your reality, or anything you guys want to share with the group at this time? Any tips or tricks or anything you want to discuss before we move forward? It might be in alignment with what we just got with these cards. Please chime in. Anything new, any new connections in the physical or otherwise? Anything coming through differently or feeling differently, or revelations? There's supposed to be a lot of that going. Okay. I'm feeling good. Good. No is just no. Oh, North Carolina is good. Just a shitload of pollen. Oh, okay. Both in Ontario. Stay stubbornly optimistic. Expect the unexpected and have fun. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's good advice. Stubbornly optimistic. Mm-hmm. I always called myself a realistic optimist. I was a realist. I'm a realistic optimist. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'll definitely hope for the best and try, be positive, but I'm realistic, as well. Like, I see reality. So I always called myself people would ask me, are you a pessimist or an optimist? I'd be like, I'm a realistic optimist. Like, that's the way I don't think I've shifted too much from that. Although reality is a completely different thing for me than it used to be. So now I know that I know so much more of what shapes my reality. So I guess that realistic part is more like I have to remember to try to be realistic when it comes to what I know versus what happens and transpires around me, and sometimes just optimistic through that. That's kind of accurate. You notice that your Basset ass statue shifts. Yeah, you told me that. That is really interesting. I still haven't gotten mine because I just haven't gotten it yet, but I am going to get one. Ooh. Right off the top, you guys. Barely started, and right off the top, with our Angels of Abundance Oracle at 151.51 into our feed here. Power of prayer. Power of prayer. Give this situation to God for uplifting and healing. That's what we're doing here. Give this situation to God for uplifting and healing, and be open to miracles. Heaven's unlimited resources, love, and answers are awaiting your prayers. Be sure to act upon the divine guidance Mother, Father, God gives to you in response to your prayers. Be sure to act upon the divine guidance Mother, Father, God gives to you in response to your prayers. I love this card. This is awesome. We have not seen this card. I don't even know. It's been a while. give this situation to God for uplifting and healing, and be open to miracles. Heaven's unlimited resources, love, and answers are awaiting your prayers. So basically, what they're saying is our intention is to be amplified, and we're fully supported in our positive manifestations, not only for ourselves, but for the collective. And that goes for healing. So, and sending out healing energies like we're going to be doing today in our meditation, which I'm really excited about. Sorry, but I heard kitties. So that's kind of, this is like immediately when I saw this and saw Power of Prayer, I immediately went to meditation, intention, and all of that good stuff. So you guys, Power of Prayer, awesome card right off the top. I went, whoop, there's another one. I just went once and it went, phew, and flew right off. Here's another one. Face your financial fears. Look at this. Face your financial fears. How many people are financially in fear right now? Wow. When you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. So similar to I guess it was the leadership card, about getting out of the way. And especially now where it seems like, oh, now we have who knows what in our way when it comes to finances and security and all that stuff. Again, this is don't succumb, any of us, to the power of the fear, the money fear program. Not for ourselves and not for other people. So, because that is the next huge component in this. It's it's lack. So it's sickness and then lack of money, lack of supplies, lack of infrastructure, or the collapse of infrastructure, or the fears that are going on right now. So understand that. And this is another thing that came up the other day was, don't just be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not going to get coronavirus and I'm not going to get sick. That's great. And then think okay, now I'm not in fear anymore, because there's a lot of underlying fear. So we have to see all of them for what they are, and one by one check them off so they don't trigger us in different ways. Don't come in with other people to trigger us in different ways. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I'm going to have to do my guided meditation when my upstairs neighbor leaves, because I'm so sensitive to his noise. I feel like he's in my apartment. Oh, wow, that sucks. Can you, do you have headphones? I can't remember. It's been a while since we've done this, so I can't remember. I know that you've had a problem with it with your neighbor in the past being loud. I guess he stomps and walks and all that. And I had a neighbor like that. I had neighbors like that before. It's awful. It's really awful. Oh, that sucks. They broke. Bummer. Because sometimes if you have it in your ears and you're not well, maybe he'll quiet down by the time we get there. We're not getting there real quick. So okay, so we have prayers, Power of Prayer, and Face Your Financial Fears. Two very apropos cards for right now, what's going on with the collective and with the virus and everything. So let's continue here. Oh, that is a lot of cards. Okay. Holy moly. Okay. We have, you're going to die with this one. I'm going to pull this one out first because it's pretty funny. Oh my goodness. Quiet retreat. Quiet retreat, you guys. That is hilarious. I'm going to take out my glasses. I once meditated in a casino. My guides have gotten me to learn to do this regardless of what's going on around. Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, well, you know what? I think if you're in a certain, I kind of, depending on what's going on, yeah, you can definitely tune stuff out. So quiet retreat, you guys. It's time to disconnect from the it's time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. Like, I shit you not, you guys. Seriously. So quiet. I know. These cards today are killing me already. I try to block my vibrations out. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard. Well, we'll just go with it and see what happens. Okay, so quiet retreat. I know. Seriously. This is a chunk, a big old chunk after face your financial fears and power of prayer. Two big components of what's going on right now, what we're doing right now. We have quiet retreat. When have we seen this card pop out? I don't even know the last time or if ever I've seen this card pop out. Quiet retreat. Next, have courage to ask for and accept help. So this is going to be a really big thing with us probably in the next, weeks and months and year and plus, where people are going to have to rely on others more than they're used to, more than we're used to for some of us. And just the act of being open to ask for help is a big deal. So I'm going to read this. Asking for help is a sign of strength and is accepting it as it is offered to you. Very often when you ask the opponent of being connected to our guides is help getting down. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say hi to Rosie. Hi. Hi. Here, check this out. In her onesie. Go. So something to recognize is when we get messages from other people that are really from our guides. And that's how aware of, especially going forward in this new dynamic that we're in, is help and helping other people. Oh, Rosie. They say hi, Rosie. Okay, next. Sever vows of poverty. So another one to do with money, you guys, because again, of course, money is such a big deal. I mean, there's a lot of people who just as this thing happened, I mean, it was so quick that they're already living paycheck to paycheck and in the service industry, people that, work off of tips, people in bars, people in restaurants. I mean, that's a huge industry. The travel industry, all the people in travel and tourism. And it's a lot. It's a lot of people not having the money that they usually do. And so this is a big thing for us to be aware of. If what I'm hearing is maybe not possibly for the group that is here now or is gonna listen to this in the future, that maybe you're not afraid because of your awareness of your connect, just what's going on. You're not stuck in that fear fear mindset, but much of the world is. So we're being shown this stuff about money. And here it is again, pay yourself first. This card came up not too long ago. Pay yourself first. Make yourself the most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest, in your present and your future. So another thing with money, sever vows of poverty. Dear one, there's no need to suffer, sacrifice, hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you may have made consciously or unconsciously in any lifetime. As you do, all effects of these vows will come undone for anyone involved in all directions of time. So it's important to let go and sever these vows of poverty that we may have been connected to. Again, sever vows of poverty. So if we're feeling scared about money and paying bills and stuff like that, we already know that there's, at least here in the US and in many countries, there's suspended. Food might be a different story just because of supply. And then I think that going forward, there's going to be a lot of coming together and sharing of these things of food and supplies. And this is going to start being a thing. If it needs to get to that point, in different places. But I think initially people be like, oh no, everything's falling apart. We're not going to have anything, everything, and they just run off in these directions in their minds. And that just kind of gets heightened into the collective. Myself with Suge Knight. You and Suge Knight, you're so funny. Every time I see or hear or touch Suge Knight, I think of you. Just so you know. Every time. I'm like, oh, well. Suge Knight's Will. Okay, and last but not least, this is a card that came up, release jealousy. Jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something and that the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let others' successes inspire rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. Let's see. What am I getting with this here? Okay, so I don't just keep hearing this thing about fairness, about, for some reason, this release jealousy thing and fairness coming into play. So, of things not being fair, or the idea of fairness. Maybe we'll get back to that, but that's just what I'm hearing right now when it comes to that. Okay, so quiet retreat, have courage to accept help, pay yourself first. And I think this thing with pay yourself first is, I think we just need to be really conscious right now of what we're consuming and what we're planning for and what we're doing just right now. Things just feel kind of suspended. So self-care, self-love, being your first priority when it comes to your energy right now is really important. Okay. All right, guys. So we did Archangel Oracle and Angels of Abundance. And now I'm going to get into the it's like willow gold. I think that leprechauns hold the gold For the fairies, I'm like the Suge Knight leprechaun. Ah, that's hilarious. Maybe you are. Maybe you are. That is so funny. Okay, I'm feeling the Dragon Fate Oracle right now. So we're gonna do the Dragon Fate Oracle. I love the Dragon Fate Oracle. Gosh, they're always the ones that get me all emotional. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I guess our guys are gone, Kevin and Sean. Kevin always just comes in and then he leaves real quick. Kevin's not still here, is he? He's notorious for that. Well, it's us three ladies. And we've got our Dragon Fate Oracle here. Let's see what other amazing cards we're going to get today. Oh. Lady of the New Buds. Nurture tenderness. That's the wrong camera. Nurture tenderness. Or is it? No, yeah, that's wrong. Oh my God, I was so confused there for a second. Look at all those butterflies. Card number 25, Lady of the New Buds. Haven't seen this card in a while either. Card number 25, getting a lot of cards today we haven't not gotten in a while. A lot of those Archangel cards we see a lot though. So, Lady of the New Buds, nurture tenderness. So, along the same lines of that sensitivity card, right? The Lady of the New Buds speaks. See how my garden has grown about me. See how my children, the darling buds, clamor for night and can be so touchy during the day. I must shelter them from harshness and keep them in a safe place till they are strong enough to branch out. Even then, my watchful eye will look out for their care. You see, so many people see the beauty and do not understand where it sprang from, the rich, loomy soil, the sweet water poured from the water dragon fay into this earth, the minerals of the natural realms, the light of the sun, and the shining sweetness of the crystal moon all have anointed my garden with their blessings. And then there is me. So many see my garden and wonder at it, but they do not see the work and the care that has preceded my domain. Its beauty is a result of love, care, natural growth, and attention to each and every one of its inhabitants. When your growth appears around you from the seeds you have planted, take time to tend this garden, enlist the assistance of like-minded souls, and just as you would not feed these tender buds poisons and pollutants, do not feed your ideas the opinions and energies of those who are not in integrity. Stay true to the vision of your creation and truly take a little time each day to tend this garden. Be it of love, ideas, little ones, or creative endeavors until they are robust and begin to grow into their own energy. For now, it is the tender time, the time when the buds are at most risk from the frost of rejection, the poison of judgment, and the choke of cruelty. Be vigilant, and you too will have a garden for all to enjoy and love. Many will feel you are fortunate indeed to have created such a beautiful Eden, but they will not see the care you have taken to grow this. But I have seen it all. Aww. Okay, let me get my dog back up here. Come here, babe. She's doing that pacing thing. Okay. Let's continue. About the Lady of the New Buds. She is the dragonfey being who cares for all new tender growth, including yours. Whisper to her your dreams and ideas. Plant your seeds and watch them grow. She waters her plants each day, clears the dead wood from the garden, ensures that all has sufficient water and that the soil in which all is planted is rich and fertile. Start from these basics and you too will have a wonderful experience. Allow the Lady of the New Buds to inspire you with care for your own budding projects, beings, loves, and responsibilities. In this way, you too will grow a secret and sometimes very public garden, which creates more and more beauty in the world. And you will know that caring for the tender bud creates long lasting beauty and a joy for the senses, a treasure for Gaia to cherish. And divinatory meanings. An affinity with flowers and gardens. Projects need tending, care every day for small matters, and the large will care for themselves. Resisting change is resisting the life force itself. Look at everything in nature. The seed does not remain a seed. The seedling grows. The tree seems unrelated to its origins, but at the moment, by holding on tight to the person you believe you must be, you're running the risk of denying your own life force. Change is positive. Stasis, as a resting point, can work well. As a life choice, it can be a kind of slow death. The emergence will come at the right time because the bud will be forced to flower at some stage. Do not allow yourself to wither in bud. Divine guidance needs practical application to work, most definitely. Action teamed with inspiration will create a beautiful, bountiful paradise. Work hard at love. Working with the Lady of New Buds. Herbalore, flower readings, growing a new garden with magical and symbolic meaning, coming up with a daily routine to nurture and grow your new projects, flower essences, essential oils, accepting compliments for hard work, knowing your efforts have come to fruition, and accepting that you have been a driving force in a beautiful achievement. Wow. And that is it. Lady of the New Buds. So we've talked about that, and this has come up a lot as far as working with and connecting with nature at this time. We just talked about it a little bit ago, maybe an hour ago, when we're talking about how best to take care of ourselves and get through this. Really a lot of self-care. We got this the first card that popped up here, quiet retreat. So this whole thing with our situation that we're in right now globally, with nature and connecting with our own life force. Like when we got this card, this card, Gifts from God, that is about nurturing our own gifts, our abilities. Ooh. Sorry. And these things kind of coinciding together. Being divinely guided to connect with nature, to cultivate, to grow things in nature, to bring nature in, to connect. I mean, we talked about all these different things that I have going on here. Plants and flowers and crystals and rock salt and essential oils and candles. And I mean, that's just everything that's all up in here. So this is definitely a more bigger, greater push and understanding that this is really big, and so we have such an opportunity right now to, like you said, with your friends there, Willow, and so many other people who either have to work from home or doing different things or juggling, different, trying to figure out the new way of life for right now. But they also have this great opportunity. And so many people, like there are people that are having to do and manage more or differently than they did before because everything just kind of got blown up. And then there's people who are spending time alone and at home and really have more of an opportunity to go within and really kind of figure out what it is that they could be doing at this time to really get into alignment with not only what's going on with the world and creation and where their part in it is with all that, but just stronger connection with their own soul. And that, I think, is part of this whole thing, just a deeper connection with ourselves and with Mother Earth and all that takes place every single day with all of us. Everything has been disrupted, and we need to get back to basics and connecting energetically with those things that are important, and just know and recognize that our basics will be taken care of, and let those things go. I love this, my new project. I have a huge garden outside. I'm excited. Oh, that's wonderful. Big enough to share with community. Oh, honey, that's beautiful. There you go. Definitely. That's fantastic. So yeah, so more definitely that. And remember this last thing, accepting you have been a driving force and a beautiful achievement. Even if that is just for greater understanding of yourself and self-awareness and connectedness to Gaia, creation in general, the universe, the multiverse. It's so very big and we're so very tiny, but we're also so very big in a very tiny body, and just these little moments that we have. And so all of this, like for some of us, there's not a whole lot of change in our daily lives. It just really isn't. And for some people, it's a big deal, big, huge deal. Major changes every single day taking place. And those of us that are more spiritually connected, that are tapped in with our guides, who aren't living in a state of fear, need to hold space and work with Gaia, with nature, and really put that out to the rest of the collective. Okay, guys. Let's see, where are we going from here? Been playing with these Wild Unknown tarot cards. So we're going to do that real quick. Get into these tarot cards, and then would you guys like a card, a reading, personally? And then we will stop this feed, and before we do the meditation, I'm going to need to eat. I won't make it out the other side. My stomach's already growling. Whoa, big old chunk of cards came out right here. The Death card. The Lovers card. the Four of Pentacles, and the Daughter of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to keep going before I get into anything. Yeah, definitely going to need to eat something before we the Tower, Ace of Wands, and Son of Pentacles. Whoops, Son of Pentacles. So we have Daughter of Pentacles, Son of Pentacles, the Tower. The Tower is, I can't honestly think of a better card right underneath the Death card. So we have the Death card and the Tower card right underneath each other. Then we have the Lovers and the Ace of Wands, like that. Daughter of Pentacles, Son of Pentacles. Okay. We're gonna keep going here. So we're building a little story. Still have this Four of, take a look at this Four of Pentacles. Tell me if anything comes to mind, first thing you see or think of when you see this card. We definitely have the infinity symbols going on. Yeah, that is true. I don't even see those, honestly. I have to be like specifically shown those to see that in this card. But chime in if any specific energy comes out to you with this card. And I'll tell you what it is that I always feel with this card. And then we'll see what you guys think of that. Okay, we're going to continue. So you guys both would like some. Okay, so we'll get through this and then we'll do you guys. Father of Wands. You went to a funeral yesterday. Who was that for? Father of Wands here. Five of Swords. When is our next eclipse? Let's take a look here. I'm getting some eclipse energy. June, we have a lunar eclipse in June. Wow, not till December. Oh no, sorry. I'm like, that is a really long time. That doesn't sound right. Wow. This website right here, it tells you here. Let me get the thing. I'll put it in so you guys can take a look. Copy. 77 days. When I looked at it, it was 77 days, 16 hours, and 33 minutes to the next eclipse on June 21st. It's a solar eclipse. It's not a total, though. It's an annular. And I pop this in here for you guys if you're interested in going to this website. I just got this. It could be why I'm using these cards. Part of why I'm using these cards. An annular solar eclipse happens when the moon covers the sun's center, leaving the sun's visible outer edges to form a ring of fire or annulus around the moon. Oh, how cool is that? There's this little article off to the side. So that's what an annular solar eclipse is. So that is happening on June, what was it? June 20, no. Yeah, June 20, I'm getting myself all confused, but June 21st. So, let's see. That has something to do with what we're getting here. Oh, your uncle passed away. I'm sorry to hear that, honey. How was it? How was the funeral? I haven't been to a funeral in a long time, but in the past when I've gone to funerals, they were really hard for me, just physically and emotionally, just because of what I would pick up from people. And this is back when I was, sick with fibro and all that. So it was like extra hard. Oh, look at this. The world. So anyway, was that with your uncle? Was that sudden, or was it something that you guys were prepared for? Here it is. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Isn't that awesome? I didn't always see it like that when I got these cards, but as I started to get it more and more with these cards, there is so much more happening in these cards than I think most people are well, in regards to every card, there's more happening there than most people are aware of. But this particular deck has a lot of that going on. So does the Angel Tarot. But yeah, when this card comes up, I feel this. It's either Mother Mary and or just angelic presence, just that angelic. Like all of our ascended masters are angelics, and so it's kind of one in the same. So when I see this, I feel Mother Mary. I feel super divine. It's like that presence in the reading. Whenever I get this card, whenever this card comes up in a reading, it just has this divine presence to it, and it talks about there being this, and of course, look at the World card comes up there too. The Lover's card, the Death card, the Tower, and the Ace of Wands. Come on, people. Yeah. Look at this with the Five of Swords, things breaking, things come apart, things splitting. There's this thing with timing with the eclipse coming up in June. Like that's like a reset. I'm feeling that'll be a great reset for us with what's gone on between February, March, April, May, with this whole thing with the coronavirus and people being sick. It was good, wasn't it? So that is something of note. Oh, that was good. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying. Oh, good. I'm glad. I like happy funerals and remembrances party, whatever you want to call it, with people. Those are great when people all have that real celebration of life, like we're talking about. That's a big deal, is celebrating life and coming together and all that stuff. So I'm glad that your family was happy to be together. Okay. Major ignition, firestorm igniting. The tower always means there's a deconstruction for a reconstruction. So a lot of this going on, obviously. The death card, speaking specifically, literal death, literal invasion of space and energy, a accelerant to the other side. An accelerant to the other side. Like, that's what I'm hearing. An accelerant to the other side. Into transition into the other side from living to dead, that whole transitional thing. There's this great accelerant propulsion into that with this, but these are right next to each other. How great is that? I love these two cards next to each other. Look at that. Both birds. The one has transition, there's death, there's a renewal taking place there, and then look at the Lovers. Like free. This is what I'm seeing here with this Lovers card. I am free. Next, like next, transition, next, freeness, that kind of thing. All with this. Look at this dynamic energy here that we have with this. Look at this. The Tower, the Ace of Swords, the Father of Swords. I mean, shit, dude. This is a lot of major fire energy taking place here. Big time. Big time. The World card being affected. I think everybody can agree to that. The World card being affected. The World card directly under our Four of Pentacles. That I just... Where'd it go, man? Oh, there it is. Man, that took a trip. Is that telling in some way? The world took a tumble. The world took a little dive there. So we have these two cards. We have this beautiful card right on top of the World card. This is how they landed. These cards, I was a little skeptical going in with these cards for this reading. Now I'm fully on board, honestly, because I was like, really? Like, I took them out earlier. I'm like, really? And they sat there earlier. I'm like, really? These are the cards you're going to be using right now? Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Oh, that's lovely. I'm so glad to hear that. She says, it was a beautiful reception. There are flowers everywhere in the house because of it. Oh, that's fantastic. What kind of flowers? Gardenias? Yeah, I think I'm on point with that eclipse thing. What do you guys think? Getting the Four of Cups with this with the moon here, and then look at that, the Two of Swords. Aw, a few people sent flowers and plants to your town. Oh, that's nice. So, the Two of Swords, the Four of Cups, air and water energy. So we got our water coming in with the Four of Cups. I'm hearing transitions. Going from light to dark, the reset. There's we're going into a time of dormant, of like, it's interesting. It's really interesting energy, because it's like we're going into this inner world energy, but then it's coming out really big in an even like in a different connected way. So as we're being quarantined, as we're having to stay in, as you know, that may even get more and more intense as far as the rules and regulations of that goes as time goes on a little bit. That's beside the point. But this is definitely talking about an energetic reset and getting and preparing for all that. So not just waiting it out, but the dynamics and the energy before it. But look at that. I'm like, I think we've got some eclipse business and definite affirmation on that. So we're looking at a good, where are we now? March, April, May, June. We're looking at about 3 months of dealing with this in its hottest peak, especially for the US and Canada. It is hitting us at the same time, basically. We're just like right there. We're a couple weeks behind Italy, as far as what's going on there with the virus and all that. And we're even behind them on what we're doing with how we're dealing with it too. But anyway, regardless of all that, we are definitely looking at, to me, this is not bad news. It's to me, there's a definite point in time to look at, and that is June, and it's with and around this eclipse. So right now, all of this is peaking and coming to this point with the equinox, and the tipping point and all that good stuff. We're tipping from, our winter to our spring, the northern to the southern hemisphere. Energies are shifting big time. So shifting in all directions. I'm just seeing this like energy thing just shifting in all directions. If you want to take a look at this card for a little bit of visual with that Four of Pentacles. So there's that. And just in general, I'm feeling this real kind of with the family unit. Imagine that. You'll have to take pictures. Oh, okay. You know that there's a couple of apps that you take one is called Plant Snap, but it's an app where you like, if you don't know what a plant or flower or leaf or whatever is, and you just take a picture of it, and it tries to match it, and they're pretty good. And you can, if they don't have it, you can add it to it and try to like figure out the databases are getting bigger and bigger, but they're really cool, really cool apps. So check that out. Okay. So as I was saying, feeling a reconnectedness with the family unit on on different levels, more than just the obvious, right? With everybody having to be home, like home from school, home from work, family units all together, like they're not used to. So there's a lot of that going on. But aside from that, just family unit on like a soul based level, a family unit of that coming together, even more, way more through this, way more through this. And because, on a bright note, and because we have had the energy and the transitions of death and people moving and transitioning forward, we have even more support on the other side than we did before for what is to come and what we need to be doing, and those people that we need to be connected to in the future, and how the ones that crossed over can help connect us to our soul group that are still here. They're showing us all of that right now. So that's part of it. Really awesome energy, you guys. Again, celebration of life. I'm hearing celebration of life. Let's see what else we got here. I'm being told to keep going. Like, to me, I'm just like, this is amazing right here. This is awesome. This energy, this, what I'm seeing here. Oh, I have to see if my Blackie wants to come in. We have another father of swords. You have to study flowers more. Yeah, me too. Father of swords. So the Father of Wands, the Father of Swords, the Son of Swords, a lot of this male energy coming through here. I just see a lot of stepping up in the collective with our male counterparts. Just really a lot of stepping up, financially, helping with in just a lot of different ways. Those in power. I'm feeling those in power, our male counterparts, those in power. Really stepping up, really kind of assuming the leadership roles that they were meant for, being more dynamic, that kind of thing. And I feel that on a global level and on a community and home-based level too, from the teenager, in the household with their parents to our global leaders. On that, and not just for the male, not just for the men, but that is a big part of it. We also have the female aspect here too, but they're doing things on a different level, on an energetic, spiritual level. So the female, divine, feminine, all of that is more in the healing side, the spiritual side, the keeping all that stuff going. Kind of traditional roles is kind of what I'm seeing here in an interesting way, but it crisscrossing. It's also crisscrossing a lot, but big time with look at this, like big time with this dynamic energy, new ways of thinking, new ways of structuring things for the future too, with our global leaders. And also them kind of stepping aside for more of this kind of energy and kind of seeing things and the world energy. Everything needs to be looked at a different way. And I think that they're seeing that. And they will see that more, definitely. Oh my goodness. Okay, still not done here. What else could there possibly be? Look at this. A coming together. We have the Two of Cups, you guys. More water, more healing energy coming through. This is about pouring our resources together, coming through, dynamic love energy, flower energy, speaking of flowers and flower essences. So a coming together, like I'm feeling like this real coming together in community and in small ways at first, and in ways, this is going to be through technology. Like we're still going to be having to deal with stuff, you know, really separate right now, more than we're used to, and helping each other in a way, but really getting into more connectedness through technology, through in more than we have before, with people, because we're not allowed to. Not what I mean. We're supposed to be keeping our distance from people and stuff like that. So, okay, guys, that is it. I'm hearing we finally got our. Oh, look at this on the backside. I go, that's it, and I put the deck down, but instead of face down, face up, and we have the Father of Cups. So another three. Maybe we're not then. So on the flip, on the flip is what I call it, the flip side of the deck, Father of Cups, we have the Two of Pentacles, and underneath that, the Strength card. And that's the 11 card, the Strength card, with another rose, another infinity symbol. So really, truly, are we done now? Wow. I'm just seeing with this, I mean, I have there's a whole lot of different things that I see when I see these cards, in particular, the Strength card and this Two of Pentacles, but I guess what keeps coming into my head with this is understanding the differences. Oh gosh, how do I put this? Like they're so different. We have a butterfly and we have a lion. They're both represented, and they're both showing the infinity symbol. You see? So they're exactly the same, is what I'm hearing. They're exactly the same in their very own ways of being, of having strength and being dynamic and infinite. But with this is just like there's this I guess that more of like what we are in body and what we are in spirit is what I'm hearing. This like the same but different. We're both infinite. Both of those sides are infinite. So I think that kind of is the best way I can describe what I'm being shown here with these cards. Oh man. Just made a rose portal because my local flower shop, they're allowing me to put some art. Oh, that's awesome. I want to see your rose portal. That's so fantastic. You're going to have to take pictures once you get up in there. Okay, guys, so we're officially done with this part. we're done with the tarot here. Remember the eclipse in June. This transition with the ones who we have lost, if you will, ones who have transitioned. This divine energy, this coming together of family, both familiar and soul family. And for us to feel really good about this dynamic energy coming through with all of these fathers, the fathers of swords, of wands, and of cups. Showing us that we can really put trust and faith in the process and in what's going to be going on in the future. Kind of give us reassurance there, I guess, is what I'm feeling with that. Just to have this reassurance that we have like all aspects. There's so many aspects of this that's being supported for our world. Okay. And lions have come up a lot. If you look at my feed in my Instagram, I've been so pushed with the lions coming through a lot. Very, very big time. Very much so. My dragon portal has an infinity loop around its what is that? Toradol core? Oh, that went. Oh, I want to see that. Oh, I might need that dragon portal. Damn you. I just moved my blue one into my bedroom. Like it was in here, the two of them, my pink one and my blue one were in my living room and my window for the longest time. And just, not that I even needed to for any other reason. I'm like, I'm going to put this in my bedroom now. And now it's in my bedroom. And I love it there. I said they've been together this entire time. But I just moved them. Okay, so you guys, we're gonna do cards for you. What time is it? Okay, so we're gonna do cards for you guys, and I'll let you pick. You can pick what deck you want me to use. The Wild Unknown is kind of tied up right now with these cards, and I'm leaving them out because I'm going to take pictures. So any of the other decks are available. So you can let me know. We have the what we have here. I have the fairy oracles. I have the Shadowscapes Tarot, the Hermetic Tarot, the Angel Tarot. Any of those sound good? And I will take just a minute here. I'm going to go pour myself a glass of some juice because I need some fuel in my belly. My stove time shows 9:36. Imagine that. Oh, and I have to see if I have to get Blackie inside. Blackie, hi. You ready to come in? I looked for you before and you were not out there. No, you were not. No, you were not. There you go. You need some food. What did you do? You knocking stuff over? No, don't jump down. You stay right there. Okay. stuff. Okay. Oh, that's cold. Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie. I need my jacket. I just got cold. Fairyscape, dragons. Okay, so Fairyscape for Karen. Fairyscape for Karen. Oh, I love this juice. Stuff is so good. Love it. That's that green machine, the Naked Green Machine. Doesn't look very good, but it is. I mean, I like green juice. I mean, it depends on how you feel about green. Okay. We're going to do Karen with the Shadowscapes. So connecting with Karen so we can get a little mini reading here. Oh, that card just fell out. Guess that's our card. Where'd it go? So you can take a look at that. It's the Strength card. So it's hard to see with this deck because it's small, but let's see if I can get it in. So we have another lion with the Strength card. So, you know, we had the Strength card come up with the lion in our general reading. Just had the Strength card fall out with this Fairyscapes. And I'm being guided to use my Angel Tarot book because it is a lot more dynamic when it comes to or not dynamic, just detailed, I guess is a better word. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. They're numbered differently. They're in a different order in Angel Tarot versus everything else. So we're going to see what it says in the book that it came with. Courage, calm, composure, and patience, compassion, persuasion, and self-control, tempered force, managing impulses to control anger and force rather than be manipulated by them. Unshakable resolve is what you will see unshakable resolve is what will see you through to the desired end. Yeah, and that's why there's always a lion shown with the strength card, because the strength is about quiet strength, not brute strength, not physical strength. It's about love and compassion and self, and being in love with yourself, and being strong enough to get through the different layers of shit to get to that strength point. So here we are, strength. The strength card is about exercising the desires of our will in a way where no one is harmed. This card is named for the type of firm resolve where we go within and find that our baser instincts have been tamed. And with that taming, we become stronger. Often, for true kindness to come forth, we must find it within ourselves to forgive. We're asking to let go of any judgment of ourselves or others, and view those around us with forgiveness and tolerance. As we mentioned in chapter 2, the strength card was 11 in tarot for centuries until the Rider-Waite deck flipped its position with the Justice card in 1909. In order to keep the intended flow of the dreamer's journey intact, we chose to return its original position. That's why I said it's different than any other deck. In our journey as the dreamer, we learned all about the power of control and sheer will with the Chariot. However, the time we spent with the Hermit has put us in touch with our more spiritual side. We've discovered that there's another way to power our dream besides pure determination. We can do it with kindness. The exercising of compassion is a critical aspect of our journey on our journey of enlightenment. With the strength card, we discover a very beautiful woman working in concert with in the Angel Tarot, it's a tiger, not a lion. That's the strength card in the Angel Tarot. One of nature's most powerful animals. Her kindness towards the tiger has brought her cooperation that she could never have attained with brute force. Doves of peace fly ahead of this duo as they move further along in their adventure. The lady and the tiger will need patience since they're only halfway through their journey. Okay. This card is in Leo, a sign of loving, ambitious, power, a sign that is loving, ambitious, powerful, and loyal. And of course, Leo has a flair for the dramatic, like taking a ride on a tiger. Leo is very idealistic and broad-minded, which allows this sign to see others without feeling the need to judge their path. Leo is very humane in its viewpoint of the world, which is in line with Archangel Ariel and the way she sees planet Earth and all its inhabitants. Okay, so have you been thinking about, well, you got your cat statue. Has there been any other cats in your world? Or has that been a theme for you lately? I'm just seeing cats here. I mean, I know you're a cat person, but that's beside that. That's just one thing. So a black cat keeps coming around. How funny. I have 3 black cats. They're special. Okay. Yeah, because I'm seeing yeah. So yeah, it feels yeah. It feels yeah. Okay. So this is coming up for you. This cat, have you interacted with it much? Because it feels like you haven't a whole lot, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, a little bit. There isn't a whole lot yet. It's really up to you how you feel about that. You're the only barrier in the way when it comes to interacting with this cat. I feel that your guides are showing me this because it would be good for you. Um if you're ready, if you're into it, if you've been thinking about it, you're getting validation on that point about the cat. If not that cat, it could be a different cat, but it's definitely a message. Um, yeah, just not yet connected. I'm hearing just not yet really connected. Like you've been really holding back. Um, right. So yeah. So you've been holding back. You're like, should I, shouldn't I? Do I want to get involved with this? Like, oh, like I want to, but I don't, kind of, right? Like you've been kind of uh so this little cat in your world could turn into a big cat in your world is what I've seen. So it's up to you to decide to make this little cat into a big cat in your world, because it would be a big cat in your world. Any cat in your world is a big cat in your world, but it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. You've been holding back. Um, Understandably, you've been holding back, but there's really nothing in the way other than your decisions about this cat and your involvement with it, however that might go. You're really, it's obviously, it's totally in your power to dictate that. But what I'm seeing is that it's like anytime now you can fill the void, and it's okay. Like you've gone through your period of no cat time, and it's okay anytime now once you feel ready to bring that energy in again. um, that you felt really free for a long time, not having this responsibility, not having that going on, and feeling connected in a different way, but and needing to shift your energy. So that it's kind of like that's happened. And but being like what you are and who you are and how you are with cats, um that's just, it's a natural thing for that to need to be in your world. And to some periods of time without a cat in our lives, I've been there, but it's like it they come back, not just because they're cats, because they're meant to. So yeah, so just, marinate on that for a little bit, see how you feel about it. And it's not to get you to do anything you're not ready to do. It's just being kind of it's a thing. It's a thing that's going on with you, obviously. Seeing this kitty here. um And they're saying it's okay if you're not yet ready. Like, don't feel like, okay, I got to go and do this right now. Like, you could take a few days, take some time to think about it, what you want to do with all that. But, um, but it's not like, should you fill in the blank or whatever. It's just totally up to you. It's like, it would be good for you if you did, but it's also good for you if you don't. If you're not yet ready and prepared for that in your life, you can take some more time. But it is a recurring theme that'll definitely is like opening up the door for you right now. And it would be good for you. It's just a void, it's just kind of a void when you don't have an animal in your life, or if you're a cat person, have a cat in your life. And it's been a few months, and she has rubbed against you before when you're outside. Yeah, she really likes you. She really likes you. They're showing me that. She's like totally into you. So and a real sweetie too. Like there you go. Is there anything else here? Did you get any bamboo? Or have you thought about getting some bamboo plants? Or if not, get some. That would be good. Or more if you already have some. Like, those little bamboo plants? I need to get one of those. No? Okay. Well, next time you see one, if you can, they're not usually very expensive, but next time you see one, take it home and put it next to your Batat's statue. Those two go together really, really well. Those two energies they're showing me going together really, really, really well. You just got bamboo toothpaste? Bamboo toothpaste? I've never heard of that. That's cool. Yeah, so next time you're out and about and you see a little plant of a little bamboo plant, it'll be like under $10. So you're not going to spend like a lot of money on it, just a little one. Put it next to your Batat. Batat. I have a hard time saying that. I always want to say Bassett, and it's not. Oh, okay. Toothbrushes. Oh, yeah, you wrote toothbrushes. I don't know why I thought toothpaste. I'm like, bamboo toothpaste. Interesting. Making everything out of bamboo these days. Okay. Is Willow back from her walk? Miss Willow. I love my bamboo toilet paper. And you want to hear something really interesting about that? I have it on a subscribe on Amazon, and I just got it. I told you the day that I got it, Karen. You and I had been chatting. I'm like, look what I got, and it's supposed to come like, I think once a month is what I have it set up for. And I had so I got it like 3 weeks, something like that. And then I got an email saying, oh, in the next week, you're going to be it's going to be getting ready for shipment or whatever. And I was like, okay, I have time and I don't need any more. I barely use like a roll. I was like, oh, geez, I don't need any more. And I'm like, I thought I'd set it for, I thought I set it for 2 months because it's just me and 6 big old rolls of toilet paper. I don't go through that in a month. So I was like, I think 2 months. But anyway, it said that it was coming. And I was like, that seems really early. And I'm like, I'm going to have to change that because I don't need it. And then I had a week. It was like, change your prescription or subscription, whatever, by this date. It was like a whole week away. And I was like, okay, I have time to do that. The very next day I get an email, your toilet paper is shipped. And I'm like, what? No, I didn't need that. I was like, damn it. I even tried to cancel it. And then I got a confirmation. It's on the way there. And I'm like, okay. And I get this toilet paper and I'm like, I have so much toilet paper now. And the first thing that came, I'm like, I don't need all this toilet paper. And you know, the next thing that came to that hit me, yes, you do. And you'll be grateful that you have this extra toilet paper. You'll see. And I'm like, another week goes by and then there's literally no toilet paper to be seen anywhere. And I have like double the amount of toilet paper that I would have and should have had. That's divine interference because I never would have bought more toilet paper, ever. Not knowing what was going to happen. I have a whole thing of toilet paper, bamboo toilet paper that I just bought. So why would I want that? Toilet paper. The one thing in the world nobody can get. I get it a whole month ahead and a week ahead of when I was supposed to get it. I mean, yes, I love it. I love it. Love it. It's expensive. I'm not going to lie, but I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I got to that point where I'm just like, if I'm not participating in the destruction of trees, even if it costs a little bit more, $10 more for a pack. So it's like $15 for 12 rolls or something of bamboo 3-ply toilet paper. It's called No Trees. And it's super soft. It's like a different kind it's like super smooth feeling. You don't need a whole lot of it. And I love it. I'm so glad that I got it and I'm happy with it. And I got double what I needed. Yeah, you do. Get some bamboo toilet paper. Well, when you can. I hope everybody has enough toilet paper. Okay, so Willow, we're going to get into it with you, my dear. I'm going to leave the Lady of the New Buds out. We're not putting her back in. Look at what card we got. She even looks like you. Okay. Lady Titania, be joyful. With the little dragon. Oh, they're so cute. Look at that face. I love it. How sweet is that? That is so sweet. Be joyful. I feel like this is a perfect card for you right now. I feel that you're joyful already. I feel that this is just going to further empower your bliss chip. Card number 5. Lady Titania, be joyful. Celebrate yourself. There is no true happiness without joy in being who you are. Over this next moon cycle, the forthcoming 28 and a half days, many opportunities will come to you to play, revel, dance, and explore the moonlit and joyful part of yourself that has been truly too long neglected. It is time to come forth from a place where you have been taking shelter and quiet time and partake of the joy of good, sweet company. Know that everyone, including the beings of the dragon fae, is delighted and happy to know of your ability to delight in your own self. Speaking of entertaining your guides. Celebrate, and we celebrate with you. Hail, joyful kindred spirit, and be welcome to the feast. Aw, look at that. That's hilarious. Fairy Queen Titania's name means literally daughter of the Titans. The Titans were the elder gods who were the children of heaven and earth and sprang from chaos, along with the dragon fae, who were also born of the divine. Damn straight! They included Saturn, Rhea, Oceanus, Hyperion, and others. In Ovid's Metamorphosis, Titania is another name for Diana, as well as other goddesses of the night, queens of the shadowy world, ruling over its mystic elements and powers. So there is no separation. The Titans are the goddesses are the dragon fae. Like Isis, who personified the feminine, generative principle of universal nature, Diana and the others are all nature goddesses. So rather than being a diminutive creature of delicacy and daintiness, Titania is tall and very powerful and very strong. She is of the elfin race, where the height and the features are very pronounced, with enough dragon fae blood in her veins to ensure she is a creature who can fly and endure for many millennia. She is one of the oldest ones still with us, and yet her path for this time and for you is to help to celebrate with others the joy of being alive. Boop, boop, boop. What did we say earlier? Celebration of life. What do we say? Yes, is exactly, they're like all dancing around going, celebration of life. Do you dance around naked? Oh, goodness gracious. Just as you are feeling old, despairing, and fatigued, she will sweep you up in her strong arms, show you the treasures of your life, and lay out a feast for you to partake in with others of your kind. Because being lonely and isolated is no longer an option for you. Oh, how funny. Divinatory meanings, bringing people together in life-changing, sacred, and meaningful gatherings, mothering others joyously, being greater than you appear to be, understanding the need for joy and happiness in gatherings, a delight in the company of soulmates, family agreements, and pacts that are reinforced through celebration, coming together in community with friends, finding your soul family, being protected and nurtured by friends and soul family. Working with Titania, connecting with others at gatherings, even if they are very small. Consider hosting gatherings of like-minded souls. Be prepared to balance your inner extrovert and introvert. Understand the need for family and for you to nurture those connections. Very, very deep connections with others can still be playful. So what I saw here during that, before we move forward in any kind of way, because holy shit, girl, wow. Seriously with this, holy moly. What I saw with this is you normally take care of your and you help your parents with the kids, with your brothers and sisters. That I even saw through this that like that group may be expanding for you, that you're like so good with kids, and during this time where people are going to need more help with their children and stuff, that you may, I don't know if this has come up at all for you, but there may be something going on in the community or with friends with this whole thing with the virus, where they're like, after people understand that, like, okay, we're not with each other and we've been isolated. See, like after certain groups of people have been isolated, really, really isolated, not fucking around with it, with kids and stuff, and when everything after there's that like time of quarantine, then people can commingle more. And I'm kind of seeing this in the future, especially since like school's out for the rest of the year. There's like this what are we going to do thing, and I see things really kind of evolving for you in this like group, more like group growing kind of thing. Does any of that make sense at all? Because that's kind of what I saw with that, aside from the like the connections with spirit, like you talking about you connecting more in this whole like joyous fun exchange that you're having more and more with them. Like that was definitely a thing, and especially with the dragons, like your connection with the dragons and the fae and the fairies have really kind of, the more that you've been working on and with your portals and connecting in that way, that's all ramped up a lot. It's almost like as you're doing that, you can just kind of feel them all sitting around you and just kind of like doing it with you. Does that feel like, that's what they're showing me. So there's like two different groups going on, like your own solitary group that's like really abundant, but then you also with a bigger group of children. If you don't know about that right now or whatever, that just could be something that comes up for you in the nearish future in regards to this whole kind of thing. So there you go. I think that's really cool. And you look really happy with it too. Like you're just like in it, like a pig in shit, like happy, like so happy with other little piggies and shit. Just so happy. Like this is the best. Like, yeah, so that's all really cool. You already watched 5 Other Kids? Is this a newer thing? Maybe that's what I'm seeing then. Because they're showing me a bigger group of kids than is that a newer thing? Well, it may be even bigger than that. I don't know. Or it may be changing, or it may be evolving in its own way, but I see a lot of kids around you. Just a lot of kids. And that could be changing in its own right. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that it was mostly like you had mentioned that there was, the neighbor kids around, or your friends' kids around, but I didn't know that was like a all the time thing. But anyway, I think that I mean, that's a lot for one person, but it could be even more than that, or there could be even more than you. Like it could turn into a you and somebody else helping to kind of do a daycare kind of thing, especially with this whole like no school thing coming up. Dragon daycare. Yeah. Dragon daycare. Yes. Yeah. I'm feeling it, girl. Seriously. Like, yeah. So anyway, this could be a real thing for you in the future. And not that you're going to be like, okay, I'm your new school teacher since we're all out of school. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be truly like, I mean, you'll be teaching them in your own way. It's going to be very, like you already do, very creatively focused, nature, creation, all that stuff. But I see that being a bigger thing for you. But you just like again, like I said, you just being really, you thrive there. So I just see more of that for you. Okay, guess that's it. All right, guys. What we're gonna do now is take a little break. We're at 3:33:23 with 3 people, 3 likes here. 3:33:30. Wow, a lot of 3s happening at this moment. And we're done. We just finished at 3:33 into this. We have yet to get to I knew this is going to be a while. This is going to be a long one. I knew it. You make mud piles in the backyard. Well, there you go. I literally see you just like in mud. That's funny. Okay. I'm literally seeing her playing. Like barefoot, like in mud, like playing. Like, yes, your inner child is definitely present. Definitely. And it's so perfect for you with these kids. It's like you're that perfect mix of adult and child energy that and connected in a spiritual way that kids just love you. Kids love being around you. And so anyway, prepare yourself. There could be more children. Because you're known for this, and it may not just be you, it could be other people too. And like I said earlier, just this whole like revamping of community and what we're doing with our kids and coming together as, family units and soul groups and all this stuff. Everything is in a new thing. So that's definitely part of it. How fun. How fun. Okay. Very cool. So cute. That is, this picture, this drawing, it's just so, this illustration, picture drawing, whatever you want to put it, it's so cute. Alrighty, guys. So there we are. That was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. So like I said, I need to eat before we do the meditation. It is 7:51. Are you guys still on board to do the meditation? You're very welcome. Very, very welcome, my loves. Yeah, doing readings nowadays is really fun for me, more than it ever was before, because the information that I'm getting and picking up on is just really kind of ridiculous, and it's so much fun to pick up on the things in the way that I have been recently. So yeah. You're very welcome. Okay, so are you guys up for coming back here in a little bit for the meditation? Are you still into that? I'm good with whatever, honestly. I mean, has your oh, he's still being loud. Oh, that sucks. How about you, Willow? I need to eat. I am so hungry. I really, what did I eat today? Yeah, can't remember. I had oatmeal. And pita bread. Yeah, I really didn't eat that much today. I haven't been eating that much. Your siblings love gardening too. Well, we did hear from the lady of the new bud, so there's a lot about that. So, you being outside and there's just something about gardening and being with plants. It's so enriching, and it really does bring, to me, I feel when I'm doing all that kind of stuff, like I feel like a little kid when I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. You can just feel his, oh, okay. All right, well, let's do this. Let's break. Let's come back in like 15, 20 minutes. Somewhere of that. You loved all of this? Well, good. I loved all of it too. I'm so good for the meditation. You plan on getting plants for your place? Your mother used to have plants. Oh, awesome. Good. You should. This is the time to get them. This is definitely time to get them. Okay, both of you will be back. All right, so cool. So let's just come back here in about 15, 20 minutes. I'm not sure. Oh, I have easy stuff. I'm gonna reheat my spinach ravioli. And I'm gonna eat that. And then we'll be back here in about 15, 20 minutes. And we will do the meditation. And who knows, maybe other people will join us at that point. All right, guys, I will see you in a little bit. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, love you, love you. And see ya.